So 2020 had a lot of surprises in store, some stuff that we never thought happened. When I look back and I think about trying to explain to myself from 2019 what it was going to be like as we enter 2021, I'm like, man, I would have not believed myself. There's no way that you would have been able to tell me that all the things that we normally do, we don't do anymore, or we do differently. And then I think if you fast forward to 2025, you're going to be surprised at how much of this actually sticks. My name is Taylor. This is Hack & Company at RE/MAX River City. And when you're talking about real estate in 2021, what's it going to be like? Well, it's going to be a little bit turbulent. And what I mean by turbulent is that parts of the market are not going to be moving in sync. Like, we're very likely to see the average price do well, the lower price have a rough time, and luxury be like the quick and the dead. Let me explain. Some of the things that have changed in 2020 was many families' income. The other thing was the amount of pressure that people had on their home. Look at all the stuff that we didn't normally do at home that we're doing now. We work from home, we school from home, and unless you're a politician, every vacation's a staycation, right? So in that case, we're feeling a lot more pressure. And then the other thing that has changed is we're not experiencing as much commute. So those two things conjunctively are asking a lot of people to consider whether or not work from home is going to continue. And I'm going to say that it is. I think it's in the door like Uber. I think that everybody loves to Zoom and nobody likes to wear pants. I mean, it's going to be something that will change our market. And one of the ways that it's going to do that is locations. So imagine that you were paying a lot of money to be in a prime location near your job in a smaller house so that you could afford it. Well, it could be that after 2020, you want to move into this position where you're living in a place that's kind of got a little bit more for your new lifestyle. Like maybe one of these properties that's a little bit larger that had a theater room, it could be your new soundproof office. And there's other things that we see where kids are spending more time at home, so everybody wants a little bit more privacy. I remember in when you look at real estate from the 70s, that's when the split level was born, right? It's when these bi-levels put everybody on top of each other, and they're like, let's just jack up to one side, and then it will have some stairs to create some separation. And it worked. In fact, developments of that ended up turning into the two stories that outperform every other property type. So what else is going to change? Well, I think that the owners of condos, you guys are in for another one. I know it's been a rough go. It's been a rough go since 2015. And that's because the group that owns and rents apartment style condos, they are the least established in many cases. They're the closest to the wire. They're the most likely to experience an income interruption. They're the least likely to have savings to withstand that. And so we're probably going to see more inventory in condos than buyers. Even when you look at investors, a lot of them, if you took a look at their 2020, they were kind of working their fire extinguisher, putting out the fires with prospective tenants that are either slow paying or no paying, or being worried about their property that they couldn't even get access to. So it's not likely that they're going to be as quick to transition to their checkbook in 2021 and start buying up properties until they can kind of see the lay of the land. And if you're looking in those areas like the university, demand has not been what it has been before because the university made announcements that they weren't going to take all the kids into school. And that meant that some of those families that were out of town got to stay out of town. And so I'm wondering if that's going to feel a little bit more like work from home now that the infrastructure has changed. This stuff interests me endlessly. So following it down, you can see other trends as well, like up in luxury. You can kind of see what I call the quick and the dead, or you know what? If you're going to have a great experience listing in luxury right now, you got to be in two positions. You got to either be the best of the best, have the absolute nicest, most desirable property in your price point, or you got to be better priced than the rest. Because we see that luxury buyers are not pushed into buying houses. They can stay where they're at. They can buy this one before they can sell that one. What money gives you is options, and luxury buyers tend to have those options. So being that that's the case, they're really looking for those two positions, and they're very sensitive to anybody who kind of has a limp, because there are some people that would have been in luxury homes now, except 2020 happened to them too. And then the last thing that I'd like to put out there is that we're going to see some interesting twists and turns when it comes to foreclosures. We haven't seen the full effect of the financial crisis that is going to follow the health crisis. And we know that there's a lot of small businesses that ended up laying people off, and that the process the government took, kind of paid people to stay at home instead of paid them to stay at work. And so I think that that's going to have some negative results, and it's going to be more inventory coming in some of those positions that are already experiencing hardship. So if I was a seller approaching 2021, as long as I have a house at the average price or a little bit higher than that, I'm in the butter zone. If I'm in places like St. Albert and Spruce Grove, St. Albert and Sherwood Park, I'm actually going to expect a bump. But when it comes down to some of the other parts of the market, it's not going to go as well. There's kind of a gap, it seems, when it sees the stuff under $1 million by like a couple hundred, like just at that double point, the entrance to luxury. We saw some gaps in there last year, and that may be a continued sign of turbulence. So this is how I'm calling it. I'm going to say that apartments are going to be a good purchase because they are going to be available. You're going to have your option of which one you want to buy. And if you're sniffing around and making sure somebody's helping you understand what the values are, you're probably going to get a really good deal. If you're a buyer in single family in some of those hotter neighborhoods, you're going to have to be fast. So you want to be super prepared and have your finger on the trigger, know what things are, know what looks great, and then get on it. And then I also think that luxury buyers, really, you have to take a look at those two positions. And if you're just not going to be one or the other, maybe you should sit this out while the market recovers a little bit until you can start to see those numbers shift. So that's how I'm going to lay it out for now. I don't want to make this any longer, but if you want more information, you can always reach us easily and we can break it down. We can take market information and turn it into what's going on in your neighborhood. Because my name is Taylor Hack. This is HACK&Co at RE/MAX River City, and we're going to save you from that 3-star experience by helping you trust the 5-star experts. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Cheers.